Hey Ray.
What's up?
Nice to meet you, Ray. Thank you for your time. How are you doing?
I'm great. Sunny days, not bad. Can't complain.
Yeah, it's always better in the sunny days. Ole. So be careful with the seatbelt.
Yeah.
But I am a safe rider.
Safety first.
Yeah. So Ray, first of all, thank you for the time. And I always start with this question: when and how did you learn about basketball?
Yeah, when and how? Oh man, I mean, my mom put the ball in my hand when I was a kid. I was so young. I think I was maybe 2 or 3, and there's a picture of me just holding the basketball.
Nice.
And she said when she put it in my hand, my face lit up, and there was nothing she could do about it. I always had the ball in my hand after that.
And after that, just basketball. Did you? No.
Yeah, I played a lot of different sports.
Which kind of sports?
Yeah, I tried to play hockey, didn't work so well. I tried to play soccer, but it's not so popular a little bit. I played baseball, got hit in the eye, I quit. Yeah, that wasn't fun at all. I tried to do track, but then I didn't like to run for no reason. So basketball. Oh, I played American football too when I was a kid, but then I just fell in love with basketball early, and that was my main sport.
And I always questioned our American guys, Matt, Zach also, about American football, because in America maybe this is the first or the second sport. MLB baseball is maybe the second, and NBA basketball is the third. Why is this the kind of sport so popular in America? Because in Europe, not football, soccer and basketball.
That's a great question. I don't know why some are more popular than others. Football is a little bit easier to play. It's just about being bigger, stronger, pushing guys around, and so I think a lot of people can kind of wrap their heads around that a little bit more. Baseball is classic. Everybody can play baseball. You can play, like you see kids playing catch with their father and son playing catch in the backyard. Just to start out. So it's a classic sport.
And what do you like in basketball? Because you said when you touch first time at 3 years old the basketball, you have fun, you like it. What do you like in this sport?
I like that it's never the same. Basketball is always changing, and it's a lot of quick changes. Like, 1 second, the defender is going to do something, and you got to react to it. Or another second, the team plans for different types of plays, and you got to react on the fly within the game. You got to read constantly, and it's just constant movement. Even if it doesn't look like much is going on, you're still plotting and planning your next move on the court, and it's just a lot faster.
Yeah, and you should always react on your opponent. And in what age became basketball your first sport?
When I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I stopped playing American football, and then I started to play basketball all the time, as much as I could.
And how could we imagine the trainings in America? It's because in Hungary, and I think also in Europe, okay, you finish with the school around 3 p.m. After that you have 1.5 or maybe maximum 2 hours practice, and then in that age we have 5 or maximum 6 practice per week. If you have like 1 game at the weekend, and that's it. America is same or a little bit more time on the court, or how could we imagine that?
It's a little bit similar. It's just in America it's more focused on individual skills. You have the team basketball, obviously. We do a lot of teamwork, team things. I can say personally, when I was growing up, I got to school early because of my living situation. And so when I would get to school early, I would go to the gym before school started and then go to school. And then at lunchtime, if I finish my lunch fast, then I go in 15 minutes and play on the basketball court. And then after, we would have practice. And my high school was a little bit different, especially at the beginning of the season. We would practice for about 3 hours. 30, 45 minutes was coach talking, but still, we learned a lot. And then after the 3 hours, a lot of times, you know, me and some of my teammates, we would, you know, play one-on-one or work on our skills afterwards if we had the time, and, you know, to make sure that we got our homework done and everything, and then a game on the weekends. I think where we really make a big difference is in the summertime. In the summertime, it's pretty much basketball 24/7. You go, you practice, you know, 3 times a week. Even especially now with all the personal trainers. And then outside of your team practice, those other 2 days, you have your individual training to try to get better personally. And then they play AAU tournaments or travel basketball. So they travel on the weekend and they play 5 to 6 games in a weekend. And they do that all summer round, you know, 2 or 3 tournaments a month. And that's kind of, I think, how we got a little bit better than most countries in basketball.
Yeah, this is because it's a lot of basketball. It's a lot of time, and if you make more time in one thing, like in basketball, you will be better, like individual, like a team. And I forget, because I want maybe first or the second question, but it's also good. Please describe us your hometown.
My hometown.
Yeah, where are you from? Because, you know, United States is a very, 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 very big country, and I want to put to our fans, okay, Raymond Cowels III, where is he from?
Okay, so I was born in Chicago, and I moved at a really young age to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I kind of moved around a little bit, but then we found a home in the city. Over on North Minneapolis, that's what we call it. And, you know, I started off by, you know, there's a park maybe about 5 blocks away, so maybe like 10, 15 minutes walk. So I would walk to the park and, you know, kind of hang out. And then I actually went to school outside of my like district. So you know, we have districts. So I went to school a little bit farther away, closer to where my mom works. And I was lucky to be able to, that she worked there, so I could go to that school. But it was a nice neighborhood, you know, nothing bad happened around there. I knew my neighbors a little bit, and you know, I'd play basketball at the park, and so it was cool. Right next, if you have the big city, we were just right outside, maybe 10 minutes on the highway, and you can get to the big city. And and we had a lot of park and recreation places, and it was a nice place to grow up.
Yeah, it sounds good also. And you said you played basketball 24/7 and also next to school. How could you manage your time? Because also school is a very important thing in young age. How could you imagine? Not imagine, sorry. How could you manage it?
Yeah, how did I manage it?
Yes.
You know, individually, I think I just, you know, I learned. I don't remember who exactly told me, but I figured I wanted to play basketball so bad that I wasn't going to let anything get in the way. So even if I didn't like school, or if I, you know, didn't want to do the work, I knew I had to do it because it would stop me from playing basketball.
Yes.
So I mean, I would get the work done early, and my brain kind of works a little bit differently. So during class, if the teacher would give us our homework assignment a little bit early, I would start on my homework in class while he or she is still doing it. But there was a lot of nights where, you know, after practice, after being in the gym for, you know, 5 hours, after the whole day of school, and then a lot of nights where I would stay up late and maybe not get so much sleep, but, you know, that's why we're young. We had energy to do that back then. So, I think I just wanted to make sure that I could always play, so it didn't bother me.
But it's nice, and it's very important also, and a nice thing to make the homework during in the school, and you have more free time after the school, and you can make whatever you want, like in basketball. Did you have favorite subject?
Yeah. My favorite subject in school was actually math. when I was younger, it was my favorite because you know there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was, this is the answer, this is how you get to the answer, and that's it. You were either right or you're wrong. So you didn't have to argue with anything or you know, kind of make a certain point. So I liked that about it. And then it just got to be a little too complicated. You know, you start getting calculus and algebra and derivatives and all this different types of stuff. I kind of lost interest, and then I started to focus more on just finance, so a little bit more math, but finance, and then I got my my bachelor's degree in business management.
Yeah, in Santa Clara. Yeah,
Santa Clara, yeah.
Clara, yeah. So this was also a question for me because it is a D1 school, yeah? Division 1 in NCAA.
Yeah, it's a Division 1, yeah.
How get a player in a scholarship, or how could we imagine this? Because in Hungary, if you good at in basketball and get a chance, you maybe get some things from the club at age of 18. So you get the contract, and you don't have time, or maybe you don't want to learn in university, but it's totally different in the United States, because first is university. Okay, in university you can play basketball, but first get some graduated for you finance. But how could we imagine this scholarship thing? Could you describe it for us?
Like the process?
Yes, the process.
Okay, so I think I can talk about my process. Certain schools in America, just like high schools, have a knack for, you know, the colleges going to check out players and to see who they have. Like my high school, Hopkins High School, all the college coaches know my high school coach. He was I think he's one of the best coaches in high school history, if you ask me. And so to be able to get to this school is really amazing, and it's not so easy, especially if you want to play basketball. And then also you have your district where you live at, so that kind of determines which school you go to. So kids are trying to figure out how to get seen by college coaches. So you have that. And then from there, if you get on a platform, say it's, you know, your high school coach, or in the summer, like we said, we go to these travel tournaments, a lot of college coaches go and they see you there. So then you have the potential to get a scholarship. And then after that, you start on the phone, they call you, they give you a conversation, they tell you everything, and you know, we're gonna give you this and this and this and this and this. And then you decide which school is the best for you. And that's pretty much how it goes. At least how it went for me. I was fortunate to have a lot of scholarship offers, so I had it pretty easy. But it's not so easy at the next levels and trying to get, you know, higher and higher in basketball, as we know.
Because the D1 University is the best program in basketball. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's a top, the cream of the basketball players on the university. And also you said you graduated from finance, which is also not the easiest bachelor, I think, in my opinion. And also I know this type of D1 schools maybe 2 practice per day. So again, this question: how could you manage your basketball life, your finance life, and also you were young, you may be like partying. How can you manage that? So have time for learning, have time for you, and have time for basketball. What was your goal?
Yeah, so it took me a little while to figure out.
You know, was it hard? Was it a hard progress?
Yeah, because I mean, in high school, I wasn't one to. I socialized, but not that much. I was always in the gym. I was always doing my homework. I didn't really have time to socialize. I had my family at home and everything. And then I went all the way to California to school, which is on the other side of the United States. And I had all this freedom to kind of, you know, do what I want, when I want, outside of class, obviously. I got to pick, you know, which classes I had, at what time I could have those classes, and then practice. So when I first got there, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh, I can do this. I can have a class here. Okay, I can skip, and I can have a free period here, and then I can have practice, and I can do extra stuff here. Oh, there's a party over here. I can go here, and it got to be a lot. And actually, I struggled. My first year, I struggled, but I focused more on basketball my first year. My second year, I started to figure out, how to party more, not how to, be as efficient more on the basketball court, because basketball was second nature to me. And then, I went through some tough periods of trying to figure out who I was and everything. And then I sat down and I treated it like how I treated it in high school after I got over the shock of being in college. And I was just like, okay, I have this much time to do school. I have this much time to do basketball. I have this much time, these many classes I need to go to, and I have this much time of homework that I need. And the college helps you facilitate that. They force you to do study hall, which is a private study time for the athletes, and you go in there and you can learn and everything, and you do your homework and all that stuff. Nobody wanted to do study hall, but when you finish school and you get out of it, you realize how amazing that allocated time was. And so then my junior year, I actually really figured it out and really got on a good schedule. And I think that was probably my best season in college, my junior year, and then leading up to my senior year, because I felt like I had myself figured out and how to, get through the system as successful as possible.
Yes, Perzozo said me one time, if you had your head is right in the school, you will be good also on the court. So it's a very important thing. You must figure out what do you want to do. Also, for me, it's always an important question, because we watch films about American universities. We watch also on stream NCAA games. How could we imagine this Santa Carla campus? And the second part is the matches, the plays.
Okay. Let's see. Think of a California paradise. So palm trees everywhere, freshly cut grass all the time. I have allergies, so every time they cut the grass, I was in trouble, but it was still beautiful to look at. Brand new buildings, nice facilities, locker room with TVs and, gear all in it, practice gear, everything. Kids riding in short shorts and on the longboards, riding the class with their backpacks on and headphones. A cafeteria where you can eat whatever you want to, and they cook the food right in front of you. A state-of-the-art library. So just imagine this dream place where you're not even sure if it exists, but it exists within, I would say 10 minutes walking across campus. I think it's actually a little bit bigger now. Any direction, 10 minutes walking across. And so it's like a small little world, and it was perfect. It was amazing. You had a lot of fun in there, and it was one of the best experiences of my life that I wish, every kid or every person could experience college, because there's nothing like it in the world.
And how was the basketball-wise this Santa Carla? Because the Zach played in Wichita State, and he said me the full house was maybe 11,000 people, and in Wichita State, this was the main event of the week. How was it? Because in Santa Carla, I think in the south, it will be maybe a little bit more opportunity to people to get to wait for more work. How was in Santa Carla the basketball?
So Santa Clara, it was actually a private Jesuit school. So basketball wasn't the main priority for the school. But we still had good crowds. We had good people. Not maybe, I would say we get more fans here in Falco every game than we did at Santa Clara. Now, with that said, there's a rivalry, Santa Clara versus Gonzaga. And this game, two private schools, this game always is full. At Santa Clara gym, maybe it would be full, I think around 2,000 plus, maybe 3,000 people, standing room only. They televise it on all the TVs and around the campus. And then when you go to Gonzaga, they fill it up and those students, that student section is one of the most amazing student sections I ever played against. They have this chant where they jump on the bleachers and they jump all in unison, and I thought the bleachers were going to break down because of the way they, the way they did it. And they're there an hour before the game, and they're talking to you and just trying to throw you off your game an hour before. Like, you're warming up and you're foam rolling, and they're an hour just sitting there the whole hour just waiting for you to do something so they can talk about it. And there was about Gonzaga's gym. I don't know how much they hold, but they definitely hold close to 4,000 to 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, something like that, somewhere in there. And the atmosphere is amazing.
And you mentioned you fell in love in basketball at a really young age, and also you dreamed about it, became a professional player. In what age, or in junior, or what year in your university can you told us, okay, I dream about it now? I know it will become true because I know my stats, I got some infos about me, so I could be a professional basketball player.
I knew it when I was in 8th grade.
Nice. It's true. I could imagine, because
when I was I was fortunate enough to practice with the varsity team in 8th grade. I couldn't play because we had some juniors on the team that they were just older and they needed to play. But if there was an opportunity to play, I would have played as an 8th grader. So I got to play as a freshman, and I got to win a championship. And I was just always younger. I was bigger and better than everybody. I dunked before everybody. I was fast. I was quick. Like, a little bit different game than I play now. I was actually a post player, but I just knew that I was going to be a professional. And I went through school and I went to college. As far as basketball, college, it turned out a little different than I had expected, but it was still an amazing lesson. I think it prepared me to be the professional that I am today. And it wasn't always certain after I graduated college that I was going to be as successful as I am playing over here in Europe, which is a whole nother story in itself. But I had to work really, really hard after college to keep my dream alive. We can just say that.
It's a nice thing, because Zach also said me this kind of words. If you want to be great, if you want to be a professional basketball player, you must think like a professional basketball player, or like a great man. And maybe this will be the hardest question. Okay. Please tell us all of your teams, because
all
I know
the teams that I played. From where? Starting from when?
After university.
After university. Okay, I've been a lot of places. Let's see if I can name them all. The first team was the Den Helder Kings, which was in the Netherlands. My second team was actually, I don't know if I can count it, but I was with the NBA G League team, Maine Red Claws, which is the G League for the Boston Celtics. I got cut like the last day that you could possibly get cut. That was hard. Then after that, I also went to a team in Canada. This is why I say it was hard for me to become a professional basketball player, and I got cut. Both times, if you ask me, I don't think I should have been cut, but we don't know what was going on, so that happened. That team was Halifax Hurricanes. And then the next team that I actually got on, I was in the NBA Summer League with the Memphis Grizzlies. So I count that as a team, even though it was only for like 3-4 weeks. Then we have the Nelson Giants in New Zealand, and then Helsinki Seagulls in Finland, which was an amazing experience also. After that, then I went to France, and I played for a year at Toulon. They just came up. And then I went back to New Zealand, the Canterbury Rams, for a short time. Then from there, I went back to France and played with Bolazac, Dordogne. And after that, I went to Poland and played with Spunia. And I played for Spunia for 2 years, actually. Yep. Then I went to Liga Warsaw. And after Spugna, the second year, I went back to France and played with Portier in the second division. And then after that, Lega Warsaw, and then I finally made my way here to Szombathely, Hungary with the Falco.
I think it was 100%.
I think
Yeah,
so.
it
I think
is
I got everything.
everything. Yeah, it's nice job, Ray, nice job. And it will be maybe a deeper question, because for me it was a new information. You cut 2 times.
Yes.
And I just could imagine. I'd never experienced this type of things. But how found motivation after that? Because you said 2 times cut on the last day of basketball thing, and I almost make some wrong words, so that's why. How could you find the motivation after that?
How did I find the motivation to keep going?
Yes.
That was a tough one, because you're not in college anymore. You don't have to go to school. You kind of have to be your own man. Try to create a life for yourself. So now it's not just for fun. It's actually a job. You have to try to make something from it. So you can't just play and play and play without, getting a reward from it, without having to put energy into something else. So there was a time where I wasn't sure if basketball was going to work out. I knew I was good. I knew I was better than most people, that I can be professional, that I can beat a lot of professionals. But then I just went back to, I've put so much work in ever since I was, let's say, from 8th grade until, I was 24, 23, 24. And I never got to, let's say, fulfill that, dream, or fulfill that, burning inside of me that I had, the passion for basketball. So I decided, I said, no, I'm going to be true to myself, be true to what I said to myself when I was in 8th grade. I'm going to be a professional basketball player. And that's what pushed me through. There was a lot of hard days when I would work out, and, you see your friends, or you see guys that guys that you beat in shooting contests, guys that you tried out against, and they, just weren't as good as you thought they were, but they have jobs. And to not have one, it was just kind of more fuel to the fire, and I just kind of kept knocking on the door. And I think that gives me an edge today. I think that's why I've played for 9 years so far, and why I probably will be able to continue to play. Knock on wood. Hopefully, everything stays healthy. And so. And
thanks to basketball, you played a lot of country, a lot of cities.
Yes.
First question about it, and a lot of new cultures. Was it hard to adapt year by year? For example, in Finland, in Poland, France, also in Hungary, because it could be hard. For learn a new culture, learn new people, learn new coaches, learn new teammates. How was it for you?
It was difficult. If anybody tells you it was easy, then I don't know if they're telling the truth. Even if you enjoy it and you're happy all the time, I think there's a level of difficulty to it, because you have a whole nother culture. You're used to doing things a certain way, and everybody around you now does something different. To be able to stay true to yourself is one thing. Also to, be mindful that you're not in your country anymore is number 2. And also, the basketball is different everywhere you go. Every team that you play on is different. So to be able to adapt to that, among, not being able to read this sign. I don't know, what is this? Benton partner?
Nice. Yeah.
Palco, you know what I mean? And then now I got to see all these signs, and then I got to try to go to practice and try to figure out, how coach wants us to play the pick and roll. It's very, very difficult, and people don't realize that when you're playing here in another country, you learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about the country, and you have to figure out, it's almost like you have to figure out how to survive almost, again, because everything is completely different.
And do you have favorite country or team? Where was easier to adapt, or do you find everything what you want?
I adapted with the French culture and the basketball. Their style of basketball is a little bit faster paced. They definitely shoot a lot more, which of course I love to do, and it was easier for me to learn French, so I learned it.
The people, you can speak on French.
It's just un petit peu.
Oh, it's also more than I think.
Yeah,
nice,
just a little
nice.
bit. And it was just the people. Okay, French people are French people. You know, you either love them or you hate them. And so I understood them a little bit more because they kind of keep to themselves. They have a high expectation or perception of themselves, which is great. And I don't know, it was just kind of easy for me to adapt, and obviously the bread helped a lot. Their fresh bread is amazing. So yeah, I would have to say to play in is France. Yeah.
And leave?
To visit? I still Spain.
Spain?
Yeah, Barcelona was the most amazing. Just the culture, the people, the food, the living, the lifestyle is just. It's very nice over there.
Yeah.
And the weather is also not bad too.
Yeah, it's always sunny. It's always good. You mentioned your shooting in France and all of that, and I make some visits on Pro Basketball and search for your stats, and I think in all season, like professional, always above 40% of three. Yeah, great. And now, yeah, I think it's in all season. And I want to ask because maybe I know the answer and maybe not, but how it comes? It just like, oh, Ray can shoot from 8th grade and it's coming, or okay, you have feel for it, but you put a lot of work, or the C, work.
So much work. I can't even begin to tell you how much work I put into it. Because when I was in 8th grade, I told you I was not a guard. I was a post player. I helped my team win the state championship being a post player. I could barely make free throws.
It's hard to imagine now, for sure.
I'm telling you, and my high school coach will tell you. And I had great ability, great motor, great, just physically I was good, but I couldn't really shoot. And my high school coach, I give him a lot of credit for the player I am today. Ken Novak, one of the best in the game, and he told me one day, he was like, Ray, you have scholarship offers already. I had scholarship offers pretty early. I was 16, sophomore, and he said, if you want to play at the next level, you're gonna have to shoot. And he told me one thing that I will never forget. He was like, if you can shoot the basketball, you can play anywhere. And I tell you what, he was not wrong. I've been in so many different countries and so many different places, and shooting has been my staple. And I always find a way to make my place on the team and try to help the team as best as I can. So he was not wrong about that. And so from 16, I decided to change my shot, and it was hours and hours and hours. When I tell you, after practice, we would work on our game. We actually had a shooting machine. I would spend hours on the shooting machine. Before practice, hours on the shooting machine. In the summertime, I was in the gym literally from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sometimes I would walk to the gas station and go get a snack, or walk and go get lunch or Subway. I was in there all day. I would work out. Okay, I'm tired. I would sit down on the bench. Somebody would come in, they want to play one-on-one. Okay, I'm going to play. Okay, sit back down. Oh, you know what? Let me just go do, form shooting. And I couldn't tell you how many shots and how much that I worked on my game. And even today, I still work on my shot.
Yeah, and this is the next question. It will be a little bit tough for you because, I think you are the second oldest guy in our team after Aki. Sorry. I know it's hard and it's not not the good, but it's I think also the good thing. And always you are the last one after the practice right today and always. And I think 1 week before I catch your after practice routine for the three-pointer, making for the three-pointer in a row. What is your fire in age of 32 to make after I think a tough 2 hours practice? Okay, I will be there in the gym, make 43 points, and after I can go home. And if it will, I think you were at 25, means that okay, let's go again. Okay, let's go again. And what is your fire, and how could we?
I just had this. It's been in me for a long time. Like I said, it goes back to when I was younger, and you know, I said I'm going to be a professional basketball player, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to be here and survive. I have to be better. I have to be one of the best, and in order to be one of the best, I have to continue to work on, you know, what I don't get to work on. Also, because in practice, you know, we practice for 2 hours, a long time. You don't get so many shots, and for me, it's a lot about repetition. So you have to be able to get the reps that you're going to see in the game. But in practice, you maybe only get 1 or 2 of those during the course of practice because it's a team sport. So you have to make sure that when those 1 or 2 reps come, that you can be able to make those 2 shots or 3 shots, or, you know, I'm lucky I get 7 maybe a game. And you have to be able to, you know, hit that at a good percentage. And I know that my shooting and my ability for the game didn't just come. It's not just natural to me. Everything that I've done within basketball has been, I've had to work for it. So I know that the second that I stop working, that's the second that I'm not going to be as good. And, you know, you said I'm 32, but I was having a talk with my girlfriend the other day, and, you know, I just can't accept, you know, being average. I can't accept, you know, I'm not going to accept that, oh, I'm 32, I should slow down a little bit. No, I don't see a reason why. As long as I can, you know, continue to take care of my body off the court and on the court, then I think I still have a lot of room to grow and a lot of basketball to play.
Yeah, this is true. And also what you said, it's when you can shoot, you can play wherever you want. But it's really true. And what type of shooting do you have? Yeah. Next question, it's about when you pick a team, because you have a lot of type of teams in a lot of country and a lot of teams. What is your opinion, or what is the most important thing to pick one? The coach, because Zach said it's coach, and also the level of the team, or something about culture, about the team history. What is your most important thing when you, okay, I am a free agent, let's pick a team?
Yeah.
What is your thing?
I like to pick a team. Now I'm a little bit older, but so I have a different perspective. Before, I like to try to pick the team based on the country. Didn't work out so well. You know, you end up, you know, everywhere. So then I figured that now the coach is important. Yes, you have to be able to like the coach and get along with the coach, and you know, kind of see. You don't have to see perfectly eye to eye, but you have to have a good understanding of the game and have some commonalities. But I try to see the players, especially if I'm one of the last ones or kind of a middle one to sign, or I talk to the coach and see what type of players he wants to sign. And if I feel like I can fit with those types of players, that's what I look for the most, because at the end of the day, those are the guys who I have to battle with every day. Those are the guys who I have to go on the court with every day. Those are the guys who, you know, like, if I'm having a bad day, you know, are they going to just leave me alone and forget about me, or are they going to pick me up and help me? So I look at the players and kind of what dynamic it is. And
yeah. And how could you check it? Because Zach maybe said the same thing, that I could imagine it's very important, because yeah, it's maybe 24/7 with these type of guys, but how could you check the guys in the team?
It's really hard. Usually, you know, I'll get to see the local players, and then I can, you know, kind of look them up and try to do as much research as I can on them, and then I'll try to, you know, have a conversation with the coach and just get a feel for what kind of players he wants to bring, or, you know, who he wants to sign if he hasn't signed them already. And then a lot of guys have stuff on YouTube or whatever, and different workouts are on their Instagram, so you can kind of get a feel for what type of players. But you never know who's who until you get there and you meet them and you play with them and you spend, you know, 6 hours a day in the gym with them. Like, that's when you really find out how somebody is. So it's always a kind of a gamble, a new adventure, I would say. You don't get to. It's not like you go to the candy store and you pick your favorite candy, you know. You just hope that you get one that's not gonna make your teeth rot.
Yeah, this is true. And now we arrived in Falco and in Szombathely. What do you think about Szombathely? Not the first impression, I will ask also. Now you will, I think this is your 5th month, maybe more, August. Yeah, 5th or 6th month. What do you think about the city, about our fans, about our team? It is a long question, I know, but if you miss something, I will ask again.
I think it's a nice little city. You know, you have enough. Maybe it could be a little bit more, but you have some restaurants, you have a nice square, you have like the rural areas and a little bit, and you're closer to, you know, a bigger city in Vienna and not so far from Budapest. So it's actually, you know, surprisingly, it's pretty nice. It's not bad, and the weather's actually not bad either. So I like it, and the people in the city are pretty nice. I think that's because most of the people in the city are Falco fans, so that helps a lot. And that's also great too. You know, the fans are amazing. You know, they're respectful. They don't, you know, harass you when you're walking down the street or whatever. They say hi and stuff, but they let you kind of, you know, live and do your thing, which is really nice also. And yeah, I think you asked me about what else did you ask me?
About our team, about our teammates, individually or around.
I think we have a great team. I think we have, you know, a team has a lot of pieces, and I still think that we're figuring each other out, you know, and which is an exciting part, because, you know, we've had good success, and I don't think we've played a game where I felt like, man, everybody was just clicking, you know. And usually you have like 1 or 2 of those games a season, but I still think we have a lot of room to grow, which is amazing to be on a team like that. The players, everybody's nice. We all get along with each other. Everybody can joke with everybody. There's no problems, no attitudes, and we compete against each other, which is also nice, because some years you get guys that don't want to compete, and so it's really, I can say it's been a good experience so far, and, you know, we want to make it the best experience at the end of the season with a championship.
And what was your first impression about the team when Coach Konakov called you, hey, what's up? I don't know what happened, but I just imagine, hey, Ray, what's up? We think about you to sign or everybody. What was your first impression or checking about Falco?
My first impression was wasn't sure about Hungarian basketball. You know, I was from France, and then I went to Poland, and I was so busy trying to get out of Poland, and I was stuck in Poland for 3 years, which was great though, not stuck. I mean, I found, you know, someone very special there. But so I was in, I don't know, I was curious, and I found out about Falco, and I found out about our history, and I found out, you know, how they built the team, and how it is what it is today, and I found out about the fans and the gym, and, you know, obviously that they play Champions League and they do quite well, and then I was like, wow, this is, you know, I need to hear more about this, and I was very interested from the beginning. So it actually was just the perfect storm that I landed here. So it was pretty good.
And when you first time arrived in our locker room, who was the first guy to get the click and get the first to know each other? Who was the first guy?
Zach.
Zach?
Yeah. Me and Zach clicked right away, pretty much. And Steph too. I liked the way Steph worked. you know, especially in preseason. I'm always a fan. If I see a guy just working hard and busting their butt, like I immediately can respect them and gravitate towards them. So yeah, I would say Zach and then Steph.
But I also watching you guys during practice or after practices, and for this type of routine that we talk about, you always shoot with young guys, like with Jotza or with today with Abel. Yeah. I know it will be a little bit newspaper guys question. Why you pick the young guys to motivate they or they can, hey Ray, I want to shoot with you, or how is it works?
So I can say this. My philosophy is, if somebody on the team asks me to shoot with them, I can't say no. This is just what I have for myself, and you know, I try to make it like that. Unless I'm just dying that day and I really need to go and get my body together, I have to say yes. So that's the number one thing. So anybody can ask me to shoot and I will say yes. But also, I picked the young guys because, you know, I was younger and coming up, you know, older guys always, hey, come help me rebound. Hey, come help me do this drill. Hey, come help me work out. And, you know, it was a pain in my butt, but that's also how I learned, because I would watch them and I would see how they do things and, you know, like help them to rebound. And then sometimes they would say I can jump in with them. And so for me, it's just like, you know, to kind of have that, you know, for them to have them, all right, you know, he's older than me. He's asking me to go. I should probably not say no. You know, they should probably come help me rebound. And I feel like the young guys should be in the gym longer than me. But, so that's the thing. And so usually I pick one or two if they're just kind of sitting around in the gym. Now I'm telling my secret. If they're just hanging around, oh, okay, I see you being lazy. Come on, help me rebound for me. And then I just switch and I'll let them shoot, obviously, because I don't want to be that mean of a guy. But, and then I put a little challenge on it for them. I have a different shooting drill just to kind of help, because I feel like, you know, I like to teach and I like to help. And I like to make sure that, you know, that I'm giving back to the game, because the game has given so much to me that I can't just play and just leave and act like, you know, nothing happened. So it's just my gift back to the game. And if I can help somebody along the way, then for sure I will help them 100%, no doubt. And that's partly why I pick with the young guys sometimes.
And I want to ask about your daily routines, because you said, okay, practice, after practice shoot, or sometimes before practice also shoot. So please tell us about your normal day from to get up and till you go into sleep.
Okay, yeah, so I wake up. I usually wake up around 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Sometimes I wake up before. I turn my music on, however I'm feeling for that day. I get in my mood, and then I have my coffee. I have my oatmeal. I usually eat oatmeal every morning, or peanut butter and jelly. If I'm feeling really good when I wake up, I'll have some eggs and some toast and some stuff like that. Then I'll sit down and I'll either read or read some news articles, check my emails, and then get ready and go to practice. Sometimes, like I said, if I'm feeling good, I'll get to practice a little bit early and I'll shoot a little bit before. But always I try to shoot after practice, at least get 50 makes in, minimum at the end. And then after practice,
53s or 50 free throws or
makes, 50 makes. So,
Makes.
But usually it's threes. But that's like the minimum. Like you said, like now I try to do my 40 in a row, or I try to do, you know, something out of 25, or I try to make this different type of series of shots. A lot of different things after practice. But I always make sure that I try to get my shooting in after practice. And then after that, shower, of course. Then you go to lunch. And depends how I feel. I either get it to take away, or I sit down and I eat lunch. After lunch, I go home. I organize my things for the evening practice. I can check online again and maybe check some more articles, check some emails, or maybe I'll put on like a YouTube podcast that I watch or a Netflix show. It depends on how I feel for the day. After that, I will maybe take a nap, maybe not. Use no more than an hour and a half, unless I'm sick or something.
Yeah.
And then we go wake up, I do it again, have a coffee, have maybe a snack, a banana or something, and then head out the door because I already have my practice stuff on. Practice 2 hours, whatever it is, and then now usually in the night practice is when I do a bigger shooting. Like I may have to do my 40 in a row, or I have to do my whatever drills, but it's going to be a lot, or maybe I do some footwork drills or whatever. I do that, and then I go, and after I do it, I actually usually the last one in the locker room, so I try to sit in the locker room after and just internalize everything that I just did, from practice and kind of from the day, and then I figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner, whether I'm going to cook, or usually I get takeout. I usually have like some grilled chicken or something like that, or some pasta, or actually I found this place, Pablo Burrito. If you want to sponsor me and give me some free burritos every once in a while, I fell in love with those burritos in Sombate. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then after that, I'll get on the phone with my family, talk with my girlfriend, talk with my dad, talk with my brothers and sisters, friends that I haven't talked to. And usually by around 11, 12 o'clock, I try to wind it down and be asleep.
It's a long day. It's a
long
long
day.
It's a long. Yeah, it sounds. Yeah.
When I roll it out like that,
it's
a lot.
lot.
Yeah.
2 questions about it. I know you like coffee. You make it at home or go in the city center, or do you have a favorite place to get a pickup coffee, or just sit down and drink a good cappuccino or flat white? I don't know what do you like. So make it at home, or take away, or sit down in a coffee shop?
Most of the time I make it at home. I have a little Nespresso machine, so I have my coffee there. But if it's a nice day like today or another day, sometimes after my lunch or before my lunch, I'll go and I think it's Balmora. Yeah, Balmora. I'll go there and I'll have a coffee and a green tea and just kind of sit and enjoy and collect my thoughts.
It is a good place to good music, good coffee, good people. Yeah, it's very important. It's very good thing. Second question about your day. You mentioned sometimes you cook. Which food is your favorite to make it?
My favorite to make?
Yes.
Favorite to make. I actually really like, I don't make it so much. I actually make this baked chicken with mozzarella, sun-dried tomatoes, and pesto. And I fillet the chicken. I cut it open in half. I stuff it with the mozzarella, with the sun-dried tomatoes and the pesto, and then I cover it on top with some pesto. And I have that, and I'll usually put the broccoli in. So I'll have kind of like roasted broccoli and vegetables on the side, and then maybe I'll have some rice or some pasta with it. And that, when I cook it, I feel so accomplished because it feels like it's fancy and elegant, but it's really simple. So if I'm gonna make something, I make that. But usually I just make like a pasta, or I just put baked chicken, or I put the chicken on a skillet. Sometimes I'll make tacos. Just a lot of simple stuff that I can have leftovers, and then I can eat some later if I do.
And also it's quicker, and at the end of the day, after 2 practice with this type of shooting, it will be just quick as you can and just health as you can make it. And also about your daily routines, do you have any extra routine about game days? I don't know, some always the same food, or always the same music. Do you have any about it?
Not really. I mean, I have the same playlist. I used to be very, let's say, superstitious about that, So I used to have to do everything the same. I used to have to wear the same tights, the same socks, the same food, the same pasta the night before, and I like to keep it similar. I like to, especially when I'm fueling my body, like I want to make sure that that's kind of consistent. But for me, and being in so many different places and so many different countries, and you never know, like here, like, you know, game days, on travel game days, you never know what's going to happen. Like the bus could stop or whatever, or you have to go and you eat somewhere and, you know, they don't cook it the right way, or you got to, whatever happens, and now you get to the gym and the balls are not there, or you don't have so many. And so I taught myself not to have to rely on that, and just mentally just make sure that I'm in the game as much as I can be. So yeah, I had to get rid of those superstitions.
Right, and also it's very important because if you had a routine and maybe in an away game something went wrong, it could wrong your game, and it's not so good. And also you mentioned about your day, sometimes you watch series. What kind of series do you like? Crimies, action movies, action series, or comedy? What kind of things do you like?
I really like a good psychological thriller. So or some things that have to do, you know, that's a little bit borderline, you know, kind of spiritual, but not really. Like I was just watching the OA on Netflix. I watched that. I watched Timeless, the time travel. What else did I watch that was, you know, a little bit another series like that? Mystery series. I like those things that have to, like, you know, have to kind of be engaged and pay attention to who's doing what and different characters and stuff. So yeah, I like to watch those.
This is good.
Yeah.
And always, because anybody I speak about it always say this type of series, because to engage that, and it helps to switch off your mind.
Yes,
you know, you don't think about basketball, you think about the series, because it's a lot of things during it. And also maybe this will be the last question, but also not easy question, but maybe I always ask this: MVP or championship ring? What is most important for you?
Championship.
And okay,
championship all day, every day, because the championship means that if we're gonna go psychologically and, you know, everything, it means that you've transcended and you created something. Good hands.
Yes,
and you created something with this team that, you know, at the beginning of the season, you didn't really know who anybody was, and you all came together for this one common goal and one common purpose. To get outside of yourself as a player and to, you know, do something together with people. So for sure, that's why it's no greater feeling than accomplishing something that, you know, you couldn't do by yourself.
I think it will be a very big, very good ending. So thank you, Ray, for your time. It was a pleasure. I had a lot of questions left, but I know it's a very long time, and you have a lot of things to do, as you mentioned it. Or
that was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Igyál te is vizet.